as a colon therapist, doctor of acupuncture and oriental medicine, and someone who's been on my own gut healing journey, I have a lot to share of this matter. I've seen a lot when it comes to digestion. And I know that some of these tips and products, if you haven't already heard of them, there'll be things you want to try. Okay, so I'm not actually the poop fairy. I just play one on YouTube, and I do have a magic wand as well. I'm going to use it, so you've been warned. Okay, let's get into it. So I know some people do their list backwards where they go from 10 up, so that number 1 is the grand finale and you work up to it in video. But we're just going to start on 1. So for anyone that clicked on this, you're getting the top 3 right off the bat here. Hopefully you stick around for all of them because they're all really good. And 10 is actually really interesting. So stick around, but you will get the top ones right off the bat. Number 1, though, is kind of like a trick because it's not actually a supplement or a self-care tip, but I have to include it in this list because this is a list for top 10 recommendations for constipation. And yes, it's top 10 products and self-care tips, and this isn't exactly one of those. But if I didn't mention this in list, I don't even know who I would be because I am a colon therapist. So number 1.
Number 1, colonics.
A very, very effective professional therapy for constipation. But there are a few things I want to say about colonics. And for those of you who don't know anything about it, I am going to do a whole nother video going into everything about colonics. And I'll take you into my colonic office and I'll show you the ropes. But some things I want to say here is something I tell most people when they're new to colonics. And that is, first of all, it's not a one-time fix. And I know a lot of people come in expecting that. They're like, oh, we're going to clean my colon and we're just going to flush it all out and I'm going to be all better. But it usually takes at least a 3 series to get things moving the way that you get the actual sense of relief from it. That being said, some people come in and have a great release on the first colonic. Not true for everyone, though. First colonic oftentimes is like initiation. It's getting you used to the process, getting you comfortable with it because it is a little bit different. So you have to get comfortable enough with the process. You've got a speculum insert, but it's not bigger than like a poop. It's just, feels a little intimidating at first, but once you get passed out, it's like, okay, it's comfortably in there. It's not too bad. It's attached to a hose and then that goes through a device. Do have a view tube so you can see what's coming through. But everything's contained, everything's sanitary, everything's super clean. You've got filtered water, warm filtered water entering the large intestines, and we're slowly working our way up into the intestines by repeated fills and releases. Initially, may only be a little bit going up, so not much different from an enema. As you get more comfortable, more relaxed, we can kind of work our way in. It goes into more of the colon, the large intestine, aka the colon. It's about 40 minutes on the table. For a 3 series, I highly recommend doing them within a month, and the closer together, the better. I will do a whole separate video on colonics at some point because it's kind of a love of mine. If you haven't experienced it and you've suffered with constipation and there's a colon therapist near you, check it out. Okay, that's colonics. Now we'll get to my absolute holy grail self-care product number 1 for at home. I cannot say enough wonderful things about this particular product. I can't believe how well it works. It's actually recommended to me by a patient. I had no idea about this. I knew about the general category of it, but not the specific type. And they told me it was a lifesaver for them. And as someone who's been on my own gut healing journey and has dealt with constipation and still deals with occasional bouts of constipation, love this stuff. And I tell everyone about it. Almost to the point that I get nervous that I'm telling too many people and they're not going to be able to keep up with the supply. But I'm going to tell you anyways, because it's that good. So here we go.
Number 2, Soursop bitters.
Number 2, but it's really my number 1 when it comes to self-care and home products. And I've tried one other brand. I know there's other brands of this, but I came back to this. It's incredible. So Amenazel Soursop bitters. Soursop is a fruit. It doesn't taste like fruit though. What bitters do is they get bile moving in the liver and gallbladder. And the bile is like our dish soap. And it goes through our intestines and cleans the walls, and it ends up like just a nice wash through of our intestines. Bile is so important because it's carrying toxins out of the liver, stored in the gallbladder, pumped out by the gallbladder. Gallbladder is kind of hanging out deciding, oh, we're going to pump out a little more here. Basically depends on how fatty your meal is because it helps digest the fats. So you think of it like dish soap, like kind of grease cutting, breaking down fats and grease and going through and just cleaning everything out and then taking those toxins out along the way. So their ingredients is a lot more than soursop. It's got all kinds of stinky, bitter things in it that just cleanse and detox and clean you out. It's so good and so nasty. Oh my God. So I'll take you through this with me. So the way I do this is, like I said, I keep it in the fridge because the cold at least helps the taste. And imagine drinking this warm, although I do recommend drinking most other things warm as a Chinese medicine practitioner. But this you'll want cold. It's nasty. So I like to add a little whimsy and put it in a fancy glass. Now again, if it's your first time, just start with a tablespoon because you want to see how you react. And then the next morning you can find out and then go from there. But I do, it's not an exact measurement, but I do like that much. Chug that down, which I'm going to save that for later because it's not nighttime yet. But I do it right before I brush my teeth. That way I can do it, make a crazy face, and then go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, get the taste out of my mouth, go to bed. And as you're lying in bed, you'll feel that bile flow starting and you'll feel things moving a little bit. Nothing intense. You can relax, go to sleep. Just next morning, you'll see the results. Because it is strong, start with a tablespoon, not a full shot. Try it on a night, like a Friday, that you have a Saturday morning free. Because just in case every system responds differently, you may want to be close to your toilet the next morning. Just saying. This is not a like, oh my God, I'm blowing up and blowing out, but you may have a strong reaction. So just prepare accordingly. So at least the first time you try it, you know how your body responds. Number 3.
Number 3, Chomper.
So this is something that I've used as part of a bigger cleanse from a company called Arise and Shine. Maybe some of you have heard of it. It's one of those cleanses that are intestinal cleansers that include herbs to break down things in the intestines, and then clay, like bentonite clay, psyllium husk, typically. These are kind of the combos, these cleanses that basically you're breaking stuff down and then you're binding it with the binders and getting the fiber to like grab it all and pull it out. And these are typically either like intense cleanse for a week or a 3 to 4 week cleanse. But don't worry, you don't have to get involved in all that. You can get just this product, which is the stuff that breaks down the stuff in the intestines, and just use this in a certain way without having to do the whole cleanse. Although at some point it might be nice. But I love this stuff. I tell patients, I tell clients about it. Chomper. I wish I had nails to do like, you know, the fancy thing people do with the nails, but I don't. Yes, it has cascara in it, which is an herbal laxative, but it's not so extreme like senna where you're going to be running to the bathroom. This actually has a really nice blend of cascara, plantain, barberry, sheep sorrel, fennel, ginger, rhubarb, red raspberry, skullcap, myrrh, and dongguai. What a fantastic blend. Oh my God. Super liver cleansing, even a little kidney cleansing, warming for the digestion, anti-inflammatory, blood building. It's a great formula. The guy who started this company, he did his research and kind of went with Native American tribes to study herbs and how they cleanse. And so you don't have to go crazy with this. This doesn't have to be like a hardcore cleanse where you're blocking off a few days. No, you can just do this as a little support system. So you can try 3 of them. Try it out on like a weekend where you have the morning free, just because some people are more sensitive with these herbs. So you want it like at least a half hour away from food. And I would do it before food, not after, because you're probably still digesting and it may just kind of slow down. Try just 3. See what happens next day. You may not notice much, but you might notice just a more productive movement. I kick it up to 5. That's what I do if I feel like I need a little boost and I want to kind of get things a little more productive in the lavatory. 5 of these. My favorite 2 things that I recommend to everyone that deals with any sort of constipation issues. Number 4, this sounds really simple, but it made such a difference for me that I've actually been able to bring this into my regular routine and have it be part of my life. Warm water first thing in the morning.
Number 4, warm water in the morning.
I know we all say we're going to do it. Are you doing it?
The warmth helps dilate blood vessels and digestive pathways, and the hydration replenishes water your body used overnight during natural detox processes.
It literally wakes up your gut. Moving on. Now, I've done a whole separate video about this. Coffee enemas.
Number 5, coffee enemas.
Kind of controversial. I know some people are like, why would you put coffee up here? And here I am as someone that is sensitive to coffee. I can't handle a lot of it. My adrenals can't handle a lot of it, but I love my coffee enemas. They are gentle.
If you're curious, I go into probably way too much detail in my other video all about coffee enemas.
Magnesium. I'm sure if you've dealt with constipation, you at least have some experience with magnesium, but it has to be included on this list. And it's worth mentioning that not all magnesium is created equal.
Number 6, Mag07.
We all know that magnesium is really important for muscle relaxation and regularity, but most important magnesium for moving things when they're stuck is either citrate or oxide. So, like you might have heard of magnesium glycinate, just to kind of relax the nervous and muscular system. But there's other types of magnesium. There's so many and they're so good. I mean, besides the Epsom salt we put in our bath, which is magnesium sulfate, magnesium chloride I use as a spray on, magnesium threonate, the only one that crosses the blood-brain barrier. But for the gut, for moving things, you want a citrate, which is a nice affordable one, which is sort of absorbable. So you're getting some of the mineral benefit from that, and it's nice and cheap. Or magnesium oxide, which has a stronger pulling effect, basically pulling water into the intestines. It's called an osmotic laxative. It's a salt that kind of attracts water into the intestines, and then it makes it out. But there's one, and I don't have it on me today, the magnesium 07. That's like an intense form of magnesium oxide. Maybe I can like pretend to be holding it and like overlay it right here. See if that works. Magnesium 07. That's one that will work strongly if you really just kind of need a boost. Let's get things moving. And I'm like feeling like just get that in you, get it out. So to the point, Mag 07. Next one works similarly to the magnesium in the sense that it's pulling water into the intestine to help increase bowel movements and bowel regularity, and sometimes it gives you a little bit of urgency. But here's the key. With this, you want to take it slow and find where it gets things moving without going overboard. But there are other benefits to this one.
Number 7, ester C.
Vitamin C. Can I say enough about C? It's a savior. When I talk more about my mold journey, I'll talk about how important vitamin C is. But for the purposes of this video, we want to talk about taking this to bowel tolerance. Taking high doses of vitamin C, you need something like ester C, which is gentle on the tummy. Gentle on the tummy, and you can kind of get to that point where things start getting rumbly in there. I will mention this as well in another video about like cold and flu maintenance prevention support, because this is like the ultimate medicine cabinet must have. You get the bonus of the antioxidant immunity support when you do this. So that's nice, but really good to just help get that moving. So what you're going to do, I love the 1,000 milligram capsules, 1 or 2 every couple hours throughout the day. And you do that, and everybody's different here. For some people, it could take 10,000 milligrams. For another person, it could be 3. For some people, it could be even more. But you do it every couple hours until you start to feel a little loose in there. And then you stop. And it shouldn't be like oh my God, I'm going to explode. but it'll definitely get things moving a little sooner and a little more productively. So link down below. All of my Amazon links are affiliate links at this point, so just for full transparency. But most of my other stuff is, I don't have any marketing going on with those. I'm just telling you straight up what I love, and I will put links to get them how I get them. So moving on is number 8.
Number 8, something for a detox week.
Have right now because I just finished the box and actually threw it out, but I took a little video, so I'll just put that next so you can see kind of how I do it. And I'll be honest, this was recommended by a patient to me maybe a couple years ago, and I honestly thought at first it was a little gimmicky, which I know is absurd, me saying that while I'm sitting here with fairy wings and a poop hat, but it's true. I was skeptical. And then they raved about it, so I was like, I'll try it. So it's something for a detox week, and it's 7 little vials, and you just break off the ends of the vials, pour it into a little cup, and do it on an empty stomach in the morning. So it's got ingredients like artichoke, fennel, choline, really good things to support bile flow, liver, and gut health. And it's meant to be part of like a liver detox support kind of thing. But what I found is that, it gets those bowel movements going. It must be that bile flow. And it really works so much so that I just kind of put it on subscription and it comes every month. And I love it when it comes. And the other nice thing about it is it tastes good. It's kind of like a apple cinnamon-y thing. So it's a little sweet treat in the morning. So I love it. It's worth it. I recommend it. Number 9.
Number 9, castor oil packs.
Castor oil packs. You may have heard of this. And it's one of those things where this is not a quick fix. It's not the like powerhouse, like, oh yeah, this will just get you going in the morning. But I have it on this list because I really do believe it's powerful as a therapy to learn to be consistent with. But that's the challenge. But if you have it in a place like next to your bed, you keep an old towel. I'll show you my deal, but let me show you these first. So this is my castor oil pack, and I get it from Queen of the Thrones. And if you don't have one, fine, you can just use an old towel. Just make sure it's not synthetic, a cotton towel or something. But I do love the design of the Queen of the Thrones castor oil pack. So mine's really kind of funky because I've used it so many times, but it's organic cotton and then has the straps to wrap around. So the way I do it, just to keep it simple, and this is not how everyone does it, I pour my castor oil like in my hand a little bit and rub it in my belly. Now you can do Amenazel with my little puddle of castor oil, mix it in there and rub it in. DMSO is a solvent made from a bark that actually helps things to penetrate deeper. So it goes deeper and it has its own anti-inflammatory effects. But here's the thing with this, you got to be really careful with this. So you can't just be throwing this around because it's a solvent. It will bring things in. If you have anything toxic on your hands, on your skin, wherever, it's going to bring that into your system. You want to work with clean skin, clean hands, and then you want to wash up afterward. And I leave it on overnight. Boom. If you want to, before bed, put a heating pack over so you get a little warmth a little bit deeper. That's always nice too. But castor oil, one of the oldest remedies around. It's made from the castor bean, and there's a process that extracts the oil, gets the toxic part of the bean out of the way, and then just the therapeutic part that gets in, and it's actually really stimulating for lymph movement, blood movement, stagnation in the intestines. So you get it all on there. You can do the liver, but you can do the lower abdomen too. Liver's great because just like all of these products that are getting bile flow going, that's the name of the game, oftentimes to really help clean out the intestine. But I do like doing my lower abdomen too, not just for my intestines, but our ovaries. We want some flow. We want blood flow. We want lymph flow. So castor oil over that is great too, as well as our uterus. So for the ladies out there, keep things moving. And that brings us to number 10. For anyone who's made it this far, congratulations. Now you get to see one of my little secret weapons, which some people have at home and use for other things. But ta-da!
And last but not least, number 10, massage gun on the belly.
This is a massage gun, which, there's fancy ones that sell for like $200. And then there's like ones like this, which are like $30 on Amazon. They work great. They have different attachments. I basically stick with the ball attachment. But what you're going to do is use this, and I like to use it before a castor oil pack to break up stagnation and get in there. So I'll turn it on. Turn it up. And then press into the areas, the flexures of the intestines, just any area that's tender. You don't even have to know your anatomy that well. You can just go intuitive and just press in, find where it's tender, and just let the vibration shake things up. You don't want to hurt yourself, but you want to just loosen things up. That way, when you do the castor oil pack over it, you're actually going to have things open and moving a little bit, shaped up a little bit to just get them out of the way and get the flow going. And if you don't have a castor oil pack, fine. If you don't have castor oil, fine. You can, if you get a massage gun or you have one around the house, you can just start your intestines loosened up. You think about how in this country, we go for massage, we'll get, shoulders, back, neck, legs, even our arms and everything, all these muscle groups, but we don't massage the internal organs. It's like a fear of that in Western culture. But in most other cultures, there's some form of abdominal core massage. There's Maya massage and Chinese Qinetsang. I'm probably saying that wrong. And I've had that done and it can be really intense, but it really opens everything up. But you can just kind of do your own gentle, vibratory shake up in there. But basically that's my list. I'm going to be doing another video about my mold journey, my experience dealing with mold, everything I've learned all through that, things that have helped me with that. And also just a list for general gut health supplements. So not just about constipation, but for anyone dealing with like leaky gut and just irregular bowels in general and gut support, things that have really helped me. So stay tuned.